Illustrious names in Antarctic history: Shackleton, Scott, Amundsen, Mawson, Byrd. All of them had at some time or other raised their flags and posed for their cameras, just as we were doing now. It was one photograph we would always prize. But now, our days at Vostok were coming to an end. They'd been busy days as we serviced our vehicles and equipment for the return journey of 900 miles. In addition to working on our own gear, we had to maintain the station, running generators for heat and light, keeping a 24-hour fire guard, and fending for ourselves. And we were looking forward to the return journey. On Sunday, November the 25th, we left Vostok Station. But before we did so, we all signed a note of thanks, which we left for our Russian hosts. We had reached Vostok all right, but our job was only half done. Navigation now presented little trouble. Our old tracks stretched out in front of us and were quite easy to follow. We made good time, and before long we arrived back at our last fuel dump. Our fuel position was causing us some concern. Each of the tractors was getting only 1.5 miles to the gallon, and the weasels 2.5. When 719 miles from home, we found that a drum leak had lost 30 gallons of precious fuel. This represented most of our surplus. Great economy would be needed for the rest of the trip. Most of our scientific work was to be done on the way back. But now the weather was fine. The sun shone for 24 hours a day, and this continued for 46 days without a break. Every 30 miles, we made a seismic survey to measure the ice thickness. In between these seismic shots, we took a gravity reading every mile. The greatest thickness of ice we recorded was over 15,000 feet. We would then move on another 30 miles and repeat the whole process. Every 6 hours, our American meteorologist, Danny Foster, made up his detailed weather observations. These were then coded and transmitted to Australia and to all other stations in Antarctica. Then there were the many tasks that had to be done every day to keep us going. Refueling from the bulk tanks, preparing meals, and the paperwork in which we recorded our day's observations. We were nearly halfway home. They were busy, crowded days, but our morale was high. It was surprising how well we'd all got on together. We'd become a close-knit team, and there'd been remarkably little friction. No doubt having plenty to do helped a lot. All was progressing well, perhaps too well. For on Monday, the 17th of December, we had a major breakdown, 477 miles from Wilkes. A pre-combustion chamber had blown up, and we had no spares. For a time, it looked as if we might have to abandon the tractor and leave some of the sledges and scientific equipment behind. But thanks to the ingenuity of our mechanics, a repair was made, and after a day of anxious waiting, we were off again. The last few weeks of our traverse were particularly pleasant. Apart from a violent blizzard which struck us on December the 24th, giving us a very white Christmas, temperatures were warming up to -10 as we came down the plateau towards the coast. There was an unexpected airdrop of mail from home. Quite suddenly, thoughts of home began to quicken. Soon we'd see our colleagues at Wilkes. The Tala Dan was lying close inshore, ready to take us back to Australia. Soon, all of this would be left behind. Civilization would claim us. But no matter where our future might take us, we would always remember these 4 months of exploration, of hardship, of comradeship, which we'd shared.